All right, dude, we are live. What's up, guys? This is Dem Keys, and we're going to be doing one of the quieter streams again. These are becoming a little more common until I figure out a way around them. Um, but yeah. So for today's stream, today is going to be a bit of a short one as well. I'm probably only going to go for like 45 minutes or something. So we're not going to be doing any Git related research, any Git related studies. Rather, I wanted to sit down and refine my task list for stuff that I have to do, stuff that I need to get done. Um, So what all do I have set up here? Because there were a couple of things that I needed to do. Okay. Now in this list, there's a couple of items I need to add. The first one is what should I call it? Knowledge base. Yeah. Knowledge base. Um, I guess I can add details to that later. So we have knowledge base. We have what else? Oh yeah. So I have my own version of the Rose Pine Moon B-top theme. So I need to post that to GitHub. I need to just create a repo for that and maintain my central repo and also um, the GitHub repo. So that way I'm gonna have two different remotes. One is going to be the central remote, and the other is going to be the what do you call it? The GitHub remote. So I need to put that up on GitHub. Um, the knowledge base also the knowledge base also needs to go up on GitHub. There was one more thing I needed to put onto GitHub. I think I needed to create a dot files repo on GitHub. So I need to set that up as well. Uh, the next thing I wanted to do, okay, so for the sake of practicing Rust, what I was thinking of doing is, um, with the Zola, not Zola, actually Zola should also be in this list. Zola learning and website creation. Um, with the website or in the website, I'm going to be having the knowledge base additionally as well, but the knowledge base itself is its own separate repo. What I want to do is I want to have the knowledge base as its own separate thing and then write a tool um, that'll let me, what am I trying to say here? Prepare, format, parse, package the entire knowledge base, which is just going to be a bunch of directories containing, various markdown files and whatever images are necessary. I wanna write a tool that'll let me package all of that into a format that the Zola engine understands. So I need to write a tool that'll basically convert the entire knowledge base as it is from its standalone form into a form that can be digested by the Zola website that I'm going to be creating. And that way I'll be able to have the Zola website, or I'll be able to have my knowledge base in the Zola website very, very easily. Of course, it's not going to be like that simple, but yeah, uh, so to speak, it's going to be a lot simpler once I've worked on the tool. Now, there's something here that I need to do in the knowledge base. I need to actually. I think I had an entry here somewhere. Knowledge base version 2. Okay, all entries written in Markdown. Yeah, okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. Okay, knowledge base v2 check node, and then I have the node up here. Where is it? Where? Oh, here. Wait, what do I have in this? Temp. Hold on. Okay, Kokoro. Holy shit, dude. Kokoro TTS. That is crazy. Um, Converting it to Onyx, I completely abandoned. Dude, holy shit. We made like full on, like plans, full on, design, software design documents and stuff for this. And I never really moved forward with it, mostly because I moved on from doing doing mute streams, and I've been trying my best to do talking streams as much as possible. I realized that I don't want to do mute streams. Mute streams are their own, they're their own thing. They're good in their own right, but they are their own thing. They're not the same as doing a talking stream. These are two very different things, very different ways of communicating, and both these methods have very different pros and cons. I very much prefer being able to do talking streams, even if it ends up being a short stream like the one I'm doing today, and where I have to speak quietly and stuff like that. um, I still prefer to do a talking stream. So I don't think I'm going to look into, well, I mean, I do want to look into a bunch of these things at some point. And this was all Rust related, by the way. But now I don't think I'm going to be looking into it. No need for this. No need for this. Learn Ratatouille. I'm going to be learning it, but it doesn't need to be in this list. I'll learn multi-threading at some point anyways. TTS packet spec. This is to do with, yeah, okay. Input app. WebSockets, TTS. Oh, that was also that was going to be the whole, I forgot what I was going to call it. Streamer TTS? Streamer, I don't stream speech app. I don't remember what name I was gonna give it. But yeah, oh, stream voice app. That's what it was called. And I made like a bunch of design stuff there. But yeah, okay, we're done with that. Courses to learn. Oh yeah, we need this. This is still very much relevant, very much necessary. Um, this I believe is already part of my new focus list. AI low level. Yep. This is already part of my uh, new focus list. So get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. We are not touching nano. Hmm. This, yes, I will be looking. You know what? Okay, we're gonna get rid of this. Um. Oh yeah, I already added like learn Zola, right? Okay, things to do. All right, this is done. Um, what is this? Oh, this was okay. Holy shit, this is all like such old stuff. Things to do here. Content pipeline, check node. Okay. Ractor. I completely forgot about Ractor. At some point in time later, I'll probably, remember it again and then come back to it. Website architecture design, Gemini, Convo, conversion tool. I think I should hold on to this. Yeah, I think I should hold on to this. I don't remember what the format was supposed to be. Convert TUI journal database into multiple HTML pages. No, this was a different design. Actually, no, the HTML pages are required for, like, that's what the MD pages would then be converted to. So even if I am using my new knowledge base, this would still apply. This would definitely still apply. Yeah, convert MD files to HTML files. Okay, yeah, yeah. This still applies. After stream. Oh damn, dude. Holy shit. This was all NLP related stuff. Okay, we can delete this. Content pipeline version 1. We're gonna hold on to this for now. Possible future stream topics. Gemini teaches analog electronics. No, we are not doing that anymore. Now we are doing it through the Forest Mims thing. Um, Examples. This actually, I attempted this, and that's when I realized that I was heavily unprepared for doing no STD Rust on the ESP32, and that's when I found Impl Rust for ESP32, and I started started using that. Okay, content pipeline, Godot with Rust, learn robotics, learn deep learning. Okay. ESP32 post stream notes. Potentiometer connected to so and so, so and so. Okay. Toolchain versus, okay, yeah, all of this is done. GitHub start duty fade docs duration unit confusion. Okay, okay. I remember that. Post stream to-do list. Use GitHub Copilot to understand West term. I still have, yep, that is still necessary. This, I believe we are more or less done with this. Um, Actually, have I added this here? Okay, use GitHub Copilot to understand Western things. Check already existing convos for continuation. There. So now we can delete this as well. VTuber app. Terminal base, TUI, okay. There was going to be an overlay app. There was going to be a VTuber app version 2. Yep, this is our current idea, so I'm going to leave this one alone. Okay. Now, in the knowledge base, what was I... Oh, okay. In the knowledge base, there's two tools that I need to work on right now. One is the website conversion tool. I'll call it the website conversion tool. And the other, okay, wait. Let's also mention this. Um, so let's say notes. Oh, you know what I could do? Let's do this. Notes, all entries written in MD. The other note is all tools written in Rust for practicing Rust. This is something I was thinking about. I could very easily do a bunch of the things that I'm planning on doing. Like in terms of writing tools, I could very easily write a bunch of these tools in Python with like very concise syntax, and it would be great. It would work out great. The thing is, for the sake of practicing, because I have like more than a decade's worth of experience in Python, I don't have nearly as much experience in Rust. So if I want to practice Rust, I need to. I mean, I'm planning on working on projects in Rust anyways, but I feel like these little tools that I plan on making, like small tools to accomplish very specific tasks, if I, instead of writing them in Python, if I write them in Rust, it'll help me learn and get better at Rust. So I feel like I feel like I should write them in Rust, because when I try to write them in Rust, I will face certain challenges and face certain problems and stuff that I'm gonna have to, find solutions to, and that's gonna teach me. That's gonna give me experience in Rust. So for the sake of learning, I want to write all of the tools in Rust. Now, I've mentioned here each entry has its own. Maybe I didn't need to do this. Can I? What happens if I yank this? Oh, okay. Okay, can I select this text? Okay. Um, let's yank that and paste. Great. Okay, so that's done. I would have done like a simple, cut and paste or copy and paste, but then there's a bit of an issue with because I'm using Tmux, so there's a tiny bit of an issue with copying um, that I need to resolve. But in the meantime, I can just copy the text using Wes Terms copy mode. Okay, so we'll do that and come here and paste and do that and delete. Right. So all entries are written in MD. Each entry has its own directory. Directory is named after the hash of the entry name. No, no. Directory is not named after the hash of the entry. I'm wondering if I should do that. I'm really wondering if I should do that. Yeah, but here's the thing, right? I could do that, but I'm not sure if that's going to provide any sort of benefit at all. Even worse, I'm not sure if that's gonna just create a headache for me later on. Because, like, if I upload this knowledge base to, let's say, GitHub, and I try to reference, like, if I create a README and I have like I have a long list of topics, and they're all leading to, the specific page or whatever, I I feel like seeing the directory names as just long hashes, it's not it's not very intuitive. It's and like I don't know if that's really helping at all. Like what is the reason that I'm setting them up as hashes? What is there a specific reason why I was planning on setting them up as hashes? I think one reason might have been the the name collision, like maybe there could be a different name. No, sorry, there could be two similar names and then they'll have the same hash. Yeah, no, I don't think we need to do this. Each entry has its own directory, and we'll say entry name is a sanitized. No, yeah, okay, let's say sanitized version of the entry. No, what? Hold on, wait. Um, entry. Hold on. I need to think about this. How do I want to go about doing this? Because what I was thinking is the entry name could be The directory name is going to be the same name as the entry name. The entry name, the entry file name, the MD file name, is going to be a sanitized version of the entry. So, for example, let's come here. So, for example, let's say we have this is a file. Okay, the sanitized version of this would be what just happened. Oh, okay. The sanitized version of this would be this is a file. That's basically so it's more or less a URL friendly version. Um, so this is what the MD file is going to be. So this is a file.md, and then we're also going to have this is a file as a directory name. Hold on. Let's go back here. All right. Each entry has its own directory. Each no entry MD file name is URL friendly version of entry name. Um, then what else? Hold on. What directory is named after? Okay. Um, each directory is named after the I'm still thinking if it should be a hash. Like, do I have a reason for it to be a hash? I don't think I have a reason for it to be a hash. Because here's the thing, right? We are not really going to be going through the list of directories to look at a specific entry. Generally, what we're going to be doing is any entry that is created, it's also going to be logged in the README file. So in the README file, there'll be a new entry for that. Um, or I can create an index file and link that in the README file, and then people can open up the index.md file, and in that file there'll be the entire list of entries. Though if I'm doing that, I could also provide like additional information then. Yeah, dude, I could provide additional information because there's going to be I forgot what it's called, front matter. Yeah. Uh, I could provide that information as well if we are going to have like a separate index. I could do that. I could do that. Yeah. Um, yeah, I'm still trying to think, is there a reason why we need the directory name to be why we need the directory name to be a file hash? or a hash of the entry name, do I have a reason for that? Because if I don't have a reason, then it kind of just seems like I'm causing myself problems. One reason would be indexing it, but then would indexing really be that hard? I don't know. I'm not sure. Hold on. Let me ask Gemini a question because I need to think of possible scenarios where that might actually become a problem. Each directory is named after the hash of the entry name. Oh, no, not after the hash. Each directory is named after the entry MD file name. So let's say named the same as the entry file name. Each entry has its own directory, each file name. Okay, now I was having the conversation with Gemini somewhere else. I don't remember if I ever pinned that convo, but I'm gonna try and okay, Rust TUI, nope, nope, nope. Zola knowledge base, I did pin it. Okay, I did pin it. Great. Now I did pin this, but additionally, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna branch out from this convo into a second. Hold on. Okay, if I branch out, if I click on the branch out thing right now, branch in new chat. Is this a new chat? This is a new chat. Okay. Hey, so wait, what all did um what all did Gemini suggest here? Implemented. This is actually not what I was trying to look for. I just realized that. I need to look for the other conversation. So there's Zola knowledge base, and this is great, but this is not exactly what I was looking for. Right, let's look at the search. Knowledge base. Knowledge base ideas. Moving a markdown knowledge base, so and so building a Zola knowledge base, TUI knowledge base. I think it's this one because this one says April 8th, and I believe it was like a month ago that I had this conversation. Um, okay, organizing. All right, flat. The flat approach, keeping all the MD files in one directory. The other one is page bundle approach. Use a folder for so and so. Implementing search. Oh, oh, wait. Do I already have this pinned? Oh, I'm back to the same conversation. No, that's not what I'm looking for. All right, let's see. Okay, what was the oh, there's another conversation from May 12th, building a Zola knowledge base. Let me read that prompt. Okay, hey, so I plan on creating a Zola website to host on GitHub for myself at some point later. To this site, in addition to all the stuff I was planning on adding anyways, I also plan to add a knowledge base. Let me explain what the knowledge base is. This is basically a directory where each entry of the knowledge base has its own directory. In each entries directory, you'll find an MD file with the same name as the directory and probably a couple of image files as well. The idea is that if a knowledge base entry requires displaying images, the MD file can reference the images in the current directory. This way, each entry is its own isolated thing. At some point later, I might work on a TUI application to be able to manage these entries, but for the time being, give me a second. Yeah, but for the time being, it's all going to be done manually. And the idea is that the knowledge base will also be processed slash parsed to create a Zola compatible set of pages that can be indexed and viewed within the Zola website. Now, keeping this in mind, how would you recommend I set up the local knowledge base, and what format would you recommend uh, that would benefit both my local knowledge base functionality and the ability to export this knowledge base to the Zola site? This was a conversation. I don't think I pinned this conversation, so now I need to pin it. So we're going to say Zola, no, knowledge base v2. Yeah, okay. So here's what Gemini said. Well, I don't need to read out the entire thing, but what Gemini suggested is, and what I was suggesting, is more or less called a leaf bundle structure. Um, so what I was describing is apparently a leaf bundle structure. And for the data format, Gemini recommended front matter, saying to make your knowledge base quote unquote machine readable for your future TUI and your Zola parser, you must use YAML or TOML front matter at the top of every markdown file. Recommendation, use TOML. Zola uses TOML by default. If your local knowledge base files use TOML, your parser, quote unquote parser, might literally just be a script that copies the folders into your Zola directory. And this is what Gemini recommended the front matter look like. Hold on. Let me close this and come back here. This is what Gemini recommended the front matter look like. Hold on. Just so there's a divider here so you guys can see. Yeah, this is what Gemini was suggesting. This is the front matter. Everything between these two, plus triple plus markers. And then below that is all of the markdown data. So what I could do is, because I'm creating an index as well, I could write an index. I could write a tool that basically rewrites this entire index file each time that I add a new entry. Or I can have a script that a script called generate index. And each time I'll just regenerate the entire index. Generating the index is basically going to be iterating over all the directories and each of the files and reading the first like block of data. And there was a way to read like a very small portion of the data without actually, opening up the entire file. I forgot what that method was exactly. There was something to do with memory mapping. I don't remember. I don't remember exactly what it was. I'm gonna have to look into it. But there was a way to open up. This is a way that you can read very large files without actually loading the entire file into memory. You only read a very tiny portion of it, and then you're done. Um, but yeah, yeah. So we have a couple of things here. We have the title, the date, the tags, draft. I'm not sure what draft is supposed to be. Extra. I mean, I can add whatever fields I want, right? I guess, yeah, I guess that's true. I can add whatever fields I want. I can remove whatever fields I want. So this way I'll be able to create a GitHub friendly index. Though, if I'm being honest, I'm not really expecting to go through that entire thing myself. I'm just creating it for the sake of having an index. So whatever tool I write, it's going to parse all of the entries the exact same way. It's going to go directory by directory, and in each directory, it's going to read the MD file, read the chunk of front matter, and just generate the data that's supposed to be printed in the index file. Alternatively, I could also just not use the front matter or parse the front matter for the GitHub index file. But then it's just going to be like a list of links, and I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm glad that there's a distinction here between title and file name, because the title looks like this. So I can use this title in GitHub and convert that to a link, because in Markdown you can make text into a link as well, and I can link the MD file to this text. So when people are viewing the index file, then it's going to look a lot better. And then extra stuff like, date, tags, and so on. Um, okay. All right. Storage and portability strategy. Wait, what did Gemini recommend for? Oh yeah, that was the front matter. All right. Oh, you know what? Okay, so this is a conversation that I wanted to branch out. I'm going to branch out into another chat. Hey, so this has me wondering if I should stick with naming the directories with the same name as um, the entry or the MD file, or if I should, for some reason, actually no, let me not mention for some reason, or if I should name the directories as hashes of the MD files. Is there any reason why I would need to? Is there any situation where that would be beneficial, or um, would that just cause headache? Okay, using hashes for your directory names is a classic architectural crossroads. It solves a few specific technical problems but introduces massive friction for human usability and TUI development. In almost all cases, for a personal knowledge base, directory name sticking with human readable directory names is the right choice. Here's a breakdown of why hashes might tempt you, why they will likely cause a headache, and a best of both worlds. Okay, when are hashes beneficial? Content based hashing like MD5, SHA-256, so and so is standard practice in large scale databases or asset pipelines. It offers two benefits. One, guaranteed uniqueness. So if you have two entries named installation guide and you put them in a flat folder, they will collide. Hashes eliminate name collisions. Okay. And permanent links never break. If you rename a knowledge base entry from so and so to so and so, a human readable directory name changes, which breaks any external links to that page. A hash named directory stays exactly the same, meaning your URLs never break. Dude, give me a second. Okay. Um then why hashes will cause a massive headache? Yeah, I'm aware of that. Like for a local manually managed knowledge base, that you eventually want to control via a TUI, hashes and hashes introduce significant friction. Okay, all right. I guess we don't need hashes. Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's just stick with that. So we're gonna go back to the older conversation. Okay. So yeah, this is one of the other things that I needed to set up. I need to set up the knowledge base. Um, and what is the research here? Tamil CRD to uh, Tamil CRD with custom structs to understand Tamil format using Walkter to, oh yeah, this is going to be to like traverse the directory. Okay. Create MD file and write Tamil formatter to it, front matter to it, and then buff reader to read only a small chunk of the file to parse Tamil front matter. I need to talk to Gemini about this thing because I don't remember what Gemini had mentioned. So let me. Hey, I do Rust coding. Um, I'm wondering if there is a way for me to only read a small chunk of a file instead of loading the entire thing. There's definitely a way. I just don't remember what it was. Okay, so yes, absolutely. Loading a massive file into memory just to read a few bytes is a classic recipe for a sad CPU and an unhappy killer. Okay, give me a second. Yeah. In Rust, you can accomplish this efficiently using the stdio read and stdio seek traits. Here are the two main ways um, to handle this, depending on what you're trying to do. Method one, read the first small chunk. If you need if you need the first few bytes, like reading a file header or magic bytes, you can use .take. This limits the reader to a specific number of bytes. Okay, okay. That can be that can be very useful. And yeah, that would also be like the fact that we use things like headers, for example, that helps. That helps a lot. So that means that we are not reading the entire file. We are just reading the first few bytes, and then we can move on to the next thing, and there's no like memory spike or anything like that. Granted, in my case, the MD files are not going to be that big, so I don't think it's really going to be that much of an issue. But I would much rather, have optimization by default. Okay, the other way is reading a chunk from anywhere. So the first method was using take, and that reads only a specific set of bytes from the beginning. You can limit the reader to only grab the first 10 bytes. Okay, all right. Uh, Method two, reading a chunk from anywhere. If you need to grab a chunk from the middle or end of a file, you need to seek to that position first. This moves the file cursor without reading any data along the way. Okay. Pro tips for Rust IO: use buff reader, which was mentioned earlier. Use buff reader if you are doing multiple small reads. If you're going to read multiple small chunks sequentially, wrap your file in a buff reader. It reduces the number of expensive system calls by fetching larger blocks into a memory buffer behind the scenes. Read exact versus read. Always use read exact if you absolutely need the buffer filled to that specific size, and the standard read method might return early with fewer bytes than requested depending on OS behavior. Okay, what kind of file format are you using? Okay, okay, okay. All right. So these are MD files, and I'm planning on reading front matter um, in them. Okay. Markdown formatter. No, Markdown front matter. This is a perfect use case for incremental reading. Front matter sits at the top of the file between two delimiters, meaning 95% of your file is body text you can safely ignore. Instead of reading the entire markdown file into memory, you can read line by line using buff reader. As soon as you hit the closing, oh, wait, I can read line by line. I didn't realize that. Okay, hold on. No, so um my mind was going towards like, okay, I'm gonna have to specify a certain chunk. I wasn't thinking about being able to read line by line. Okay, okay. Right. There's a bit of research that I have to do surrounding this. Um, but yeah, okay. You know what? I think that's gonna be it for today's stream. I know it's a bit of a short stream, but it is what it is. So, yeah, that's going to be it for today's stream. I'll try to start the stream earlier tomorrow, and we will continue learning Git stuff. I hope you guys have a nice day, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.